Ladies and gentlemen, Dana Baldy White himself has absolutely gifted us with a peach. Actually, yeah, no, a peach of a closeout to the year. We got three back to back to back pay per view bangers. We got UFC 321 coming up this weekend in Abu Dhabi, 322 at Madison Square Garden, which holy shit, we actually have a stacked Madison Square Garden. That might be the most stacked card of the year. And then 323 back to Fight City, back to Las Vegas for another great card. A little bit more of a hardcore card, but guys, this closeout to the year is going to be epic. It's going to be one of the best we've seen in the UFC, and they're definitely making up for a shitty run that they had there in the middle to late end of the year. But yeah, I'm super excited today. I'm gonna be ranking the 15 pay-per-view main card fights that are happening in these last 3 months. I'm going based off of what I think is gonna happen on the fight going in, like the storyline going into the fight, the kind of magnitude of the fight when it comes to the UFC. I'm ranking all those things. I'm keeping all those things in mind. And then obviously, the actual fight itself. What is it going to do? How is it going to entertain us? And I won't necessarily get into my actual prediction of who I think is going to win the fight, but I'll break down the fight a little bit. I won't spoil too much for the prediction videos I have coming out. But yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into it. At number 15, we got, yes, we actually do have a title fight. You know, this wouldn't be a list. This wouldn't be a Halo MMA video. This wouldn't be a Halo MMA banger without starting off talking about a WMMA Stinkfest. I mean, this fight maybe could be interesting. These are two mainly jiu-jitsu based women, and so we could see some good scrambles on the ground, seeing how both of them have upped their game with this championship fight. But if we don't even have to be honest with ourselves, we know that this fight is not for who the best in this division is. The best in this division, which I think she's like a tier above anyone else, is Zhang Weili. But as we all know, she is moving up to flyweight to face Valentina Shevchenko, a fight which I will go over, in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, there's no real hype to this fight. The only reason there's a little bit of hype is because Mackenzie Dern is kind of hot, I guess. And I don't want to be the one to talk about this, but she's skilled for sure. On a bit of a win streak. Verna herself's on a win streak. We've seen this matchup before, actually. They've already fought. Mackenzie did win by unanimous decision. This fight, I think this is going to be a completely different fight, though, to that one. I mean, both have had, I believe, 5+ fights maybe after, so it will be a different fight. But yeah, not a lot of hype surrounding this. This is a championship fight, though. I mean, I guess you could say that. But me personally, and I'm sure a lot of people, we are not really interested as to what happens. So yeah, moving on. Number 14, we got Alexander Rakic, another fight on UFC 321. Alexander Rakic against Azamat Murzakanov. I mean, hey, this could turn out to be a banger. We could see these are light heavyweights, so we could see one of these guys just starch the other and say he's good nights. But Rakic hasn't won since COVID. Azamat, while he is on a win streak, to be fair to him, I mean, not really a guy in the light heavyweight division that's coming with a lot of hype. Rakic did have some hype at some point, but he just hasn't been able to beat the guys that are in the top five. Like I said, he hasn't won since freaking COVID. It's 5+ years without him having a win. And there was a big injury there in that mix, but that's terrible. He has been only faced with really good guys, so I'm kind of just more intrigued to see how he does against Azmat. But I don't know, man. Azmat's kind of a crafty vet, man. you know he he's just kind of a crafty vet, so I'm really excited to see how Alexander Rakic does. Azamat does carry a bit of power, but not as much as I think that other people think. So this could be a pitter-pat decision, and if it really goes that way, I think it'd lean a little more Rakic. But we'll just have to see. We'll have to see. I'm excited. This is coming up this weekend, so I'll have the breakdown in my prediction video if that's not out already. So yeah, for number 14, Rakic versus Azamat. We'll see what happens in that one. Number 13, first fight in UFC 323. I know we've had two cards that are in, or two fights that are in 321. We got Jan Blachowicz versus Bogdan Guskov for my number 13 spot for these fights. I mean, I really see this going two ways. Either Bogdan Guskov just starches Jan Blachowicz, which I would hate to see. Jan Blachowicz is a fighter that I think most MMA fans would agree is enjoyable, is a good guy, So I don't really see a lot of Jan Blachowicz hate. So I would hate for him to be, just starched in early on in this fight. He does look a bit washed. He did look a bit washed against Carlos Ulberg. He was able to hold his own a little bit, I guess, but you just saw that the age is kind of catching up to him. So the other way I could see this fight going is that Jan Blachowicz just wins a pitter-pat decision. So, that wouldn't really excite me either. Because the thing is, too, if Jan Blachowicz does win, like, where does he go from here? So I think in terms of hype, in terms of where this would land either of them, I mean, this would land Bogdan in a really good spot in the light heavyweight division. But at this point, beating Jan Blachowicz, if he knocks him out, that's different. But beating Jan Blachowicz, it's always going to be a great win. But at this point, he's 42, I believe, 43. So it's just a different Jan Blachowicz. But we'll see how this fight goes. This is in December, so we'll have a little bit of time to, break down the X's and O's, bring out the beakers and test tubes, call up Corey Sandhagen, see what he thinks. So, yeah. Number 12, we got Beneil. We got Beneil Dariush versus BSD. BSD, the original, one of the original Marauders, actually, of the UFC. He was claimed that by Lucas Tracy. So, he is one of the Marauders of the UFC in the UFC's history. And honestly, this is a matchup I'm pretty excited. I think this is really going to test how good BSD really is. Because I think Beneil Dariush isn't necessarily a gatekeeper, but he had a good win streak going a couple years ago. Now more of a win-loss fighter. Did beat Renato Moicano, which Renato did beat the fuck out of BSD. So that's why I'm kind of excited how crafty Beneil is gonna get in this fight. BSD is gonna want to go and do his thing in terms of being his marauder type style, and Beneil Dariush just kind of have that, I don't know, that flair. I'll say that, that little outside foot battle that can kind of get him away from that. So that's why I'm excited to see it. In terms of where this would land each of them in the light heavyweight division, I mean, with the win, especially a dominant win, BSD would be, he would be up there now. But this wouldn't necessarily be a win where you're like, oh my God, BSD is back. So, I don't know. And Beneil, I mean, he is on the older side as well. I'm kind of noticing a trend when it comes to these fights. So yeah, we'll see what happens. This fight, I think more than anything, the actual fight is what I'm intrigued about. So that's just why I have it at number 12. And the fights before this, I mean, yes, they were interesting, but this is a fight where it's kind of getting into okay, this is gonna have top 5 implications, borderline top 5 implications, especially if one of them can go out there and dominate. So yeah, moving on. Number 11, we got, hey man, I'm gonna face Pelin Talbot this fight. This is my last fight. I promise it's my last fight, even though I've been saying this for about 4 or 5 times. So, but no, this is my last fight, guys. I promise. And I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna start Pelin Talbot. I'm gonna submit him in the first round. I keep thinking I have a good Henry Cejudo impression, but let me know what you guys think. Yeah, we got Henry Cejudo against Pelin Talbot. The only reason why I have this a little bit higher than the last couple of fights, even though this one isn't really for high ranking implications, I really want to see how a good prospect in Payne Talbot is going to hold up against a, not a crafty vet, but a vet that is a double champ that has given us some great performances, who has shown flashes that he still got it in Henry Cejudo. Sorry, so I think he's gonna be the faster guy, and I just want to see how Payne Talbot does. I mean, we saw him get fraud check question mark, you could say, against Rowdy Barcelos. So this is gonna be a good test for Payne Talbot. I'm surprised how they've matched this fight up. I mean, I think there was a lot better ways, a lot better people you could have matched up Payne Talbot with. But I'm not really mad at Henry Cejudo. He keeps saying this is his last fight. So let's see if that's the case. And if that is the case, I think a Payne Talbot win would go 100 times more than a Henry Cejudo win would, just in terms of hype. And Henry Cejudo is gonna have his legacy already. He did fall off there at the end. He is on the L streak, so we'll see what happens with this matchup. I really would like to see Payne Talbot win, but that's not how this life works, So yeah, we'll see. It's gonna be a striking battle. That's why I'm also excited. We're gonna see some good striking exchanges, and I think if someone has the power to end this fight, it is Payne Talbot. So that's why I'm excited. Henry is super short as well, so I want to see how Payne Talbot holds up against that kind of fighter. But yeah, moving on. Number 10, Alexander Volkov against Jailton Almeida. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad at you if you think this fight is a little lower on the list than it should be. This is basically the number one contender fight for who faces the winner of Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gane. And maybe in terms of the actual fight itself, I honestly do believe this is going to be better than Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane. And I think that should kind of show you where I'm going with that fight. But, you got the Joseph Almeida, not really the best striker, but he has great grappling. Grappling like we've never seen in the UFC. The only one might compare that might be able to compare, or not in the UFC, in this modern day heavyweight division. The only other ones that maybe could compare are Tom Aspinall and John Jones. But this guy has a great wrestling base. And I like that once we give them shit for that Rosen, or was there... it's going to sound really racist. The Rosenstrike or the Lewis fight, I forget. I don't know why I'm thinking it's either one. But after everyone gave him shit for that fight, he bounced back, 2 straight finishes. So I'm excited to see how he does with I think who actually should be fighting for the title, Alexander Volkov. He fucking beat Cyril Gane. I think 95% of MMA fans that watch Cyril Gane versus Alexander Volkov would agree that Alexander Volkov won that fight. He's on a win streak of his own, and so I really do want to see how he's going to hold up against the grappling. And I think, which is why I have this a little bit lower, I do think maybe Joe Tanamea just could be a little bit just too strong for him and hold him down. But that's up for debate. That's up to be seen, and I will break that down. I'll break down the X's and O's, because and test tips on Joe Tanamea's takedowns and all that in my prediction video. Alexander Volkov has great striking, lanky ass motherfucker. He's the KD, the Wemby of the UFC. So maybe he could, we'll see what he does, what craftiness he brings out to keep Joe Tanameda from where he's best at in the ground. And yeah, like I said, this is going to be the number one contender fight. Whoever wins this fight is fighting for the title next. But the main reason, after all this yap, the main reason why I have this at number 10 is just, I think this is just going to be a battle of who loses to Tom Aspinall. I hate to break it to you, and I do think Joe Tanameda would present a problem, obviously, that Tom Aspinall has never seen, in terms of they've never fought, but also in the fighting style, that he's mainly a grappler. So, but we'll have to see. I think this is a 50-50 fight, which is why I'm really excited about it. And saying that that's number 10, and saying that this is number 10 when it's a number one contender fight should tell you all you need to know about what we have coming up for the UFC. So that's hype. So moving on, number 9, Brandon Moreno against Tatsuro Taira. And hey, like I said, I wouldn't be mad at you if you said this last fight is ahead of this fight. But I do think if Brandon Moreno wins this fight, who else can you give him? Like, he's beat everyone there is to beat. Maybe the only other thing would be the winner of Royval versus Cap. But then if Pantoja wins, who do you give him? So this does have implications for the flyweight division. This can have great implications for the flyweight division. It's pretty funny. These two guys are not coming off, but have lost to Brandon Royval in the last year and a half. So it's kind of an interesting matchup. Two guys that have different fight styles too. Brandon Moreno has looked really sharp. I love his striking. Like, if you watch Brandon Moreno fights, you know that they're maybe not always the most exciting, but you're seeing, you got high skill out there. And the same thing with Tatsuro Taira. The only difference is that Brandon Moreno is a little bit more in the striking, and Tatsuro is a little bit more with the grappling. But both of these guys are really skilled at their area of combat, and I just think they're gonna keep progressing and keep getting better. And Brandon Moreno's had great performances in his last 2 fights with Amir Albazi and Steve Erceg. And Tatsuro, last minute step in for Park, but he showed up. He did what he needed to. He subbed him pretty early. So, yeah, I'm excited for this fight. This is going to be a great fight. Great for flyweight implications. More than anything, I'm excited to see the skill that's going to be on display in this fight. Honestly, I wish this were a 5-rounder. Like, I wouldn't be mad at all if this were a 5-rounder. So I think a 3-round fight is going to be... It's going to be different. It's going to be different for both of these guys. And, we'll have to find out in December. But I'm super excited for this fight. Number 8, another fight coming up this weekend. We got Umar Nurmagomedov finally making his comeback after losing to Merab versus Mario Bautista. I mean, we got Umar on one side and we got Mario, the T-word, Bautista on the other. He's actually not that bad. He's been in some good fights, but honestly, this is number 8 because Gunmar, I'm just excited to see him back in the ring. He put up a great fight against Merab. I'd say the best fight that anyone has put up against Merab. I couldn't see people arguing Corey, especially since he got dropped. And I think Umar's really skilled. I think that win from Merab is going to age really well. And if there is someone to beat Merab, I think it will be Umar. And these are all things that, I'm also going to say in my prediction video, but this goes along with the storyline of the bantamweight division. I think if there's someone to beat Merab, as 99% of MMA fans would agree, it is going to be Umar. I know people love to hate on the Dagestanis and whatnot, but Umar's a great fighter. He's a predominantly striker. So this is going to be a striking matchup. That's why I'm really excited. It's going to be skillful. I think maybe Mario Bautista's striking is a little bit overrated, but I'll break that down in the prediction video. But yeah, this is going to be a great fight. Back and forth. Striking exchanges, maybe some grappling. But yeah, number 7. A fight that got added onto as if 322 wasn't already fucking stacked enough. We got another banger in that card. We got John Delphia Brady versus Michael Sus TikTok Morales. I mean, guys, actually, what the fuck is Michael Morales doing? I can't tell if it's real or not. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Maybe I'm gonna be a casual here. It could be fake, but this guy's going on some sus shit. I'm not gonna lie. And I think that's low-key gonna make Tom. Yeah, guys, Tom Brady's actually making his first UFC appearance against Michael Morales. Now, I think that's kind of pissed off Tom Brady a little bit. I don't know why. I think he might be a little bit homophobic. I don't know why. I just feel like he is. Those tattoos scare me a little bit. I actually don't think Michael Morales is is homosexual, but his you should see it. You guys look up his TikTok so you don't know what I'm talking about. He's a little bit sus. Uh, Sean, but back to this back to the point of this video. Sean Brady, obviously we know there's definitely an argument. There's definitely more an argument to say that he could be fighting for the welterweight title, but obviously you have to say fuck whoever else and give it to Islam Makhachev. But I really like that he's being active. He's saying, "Hey, I deserve the. I think he said it himself too. I deserve the title shot, but hey, I don't care. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna be another number one contender, or be in another number one contender s fight versus Michael Morales. So this is gonna be a banger. Yeah. So we got a predominant grappler in Sean Brady versus a predominant striker in Michael Morales. Say what you want about Michael Morales, he does have the power to turn your lights off, and Sean Brady does have the grappling to just smother you for 15 minutes. So again, I'm kind of bummed out that this is a 3-rounder, but this is what we get for having these fights in pay-per-views. So I won't complain. These guys are gonna game plan for 3 rounds, so it'll be a great fight. We'll see if Michael Morales' takedown defense can hold up, and we'll see if Sean Brady striking can hold up. He'll have that pressure boxing style that we've seen out of Bilal, we've seen out of himself. So he's still going to be in there even if it's just a striking battle. So we'll see what happens. I hope it can stay on the feet. It'll just be a little bit more exciting. I don't want to hear the fucking try hard MMA wannabe, hardcore fans. Striking, for the most part, is always, always, always going to be more fun than grappling exchanges, than jiu-jitsu exchanges. Like I said, most of the time. Not all the time. There's a lot of guys that are good on the ground, and I love to see, but Sean Brady has a little bit more of a wrestling style, dominant style, and it was kind of a stinker against Leon Edwards, I'm not going to lie. Even though he did dominate him, it was fun to see him dominate, but that was about it. So moving on, number 6, another fight. Speaking of Leon Edwards, come on, Leon! Come on, Leon! Leon Rocky Edwards against Carlos Nightmare Prates. Hey, that's a bit of a sneaky hardcore there. Nah, it's not really that impressive to know both their nicknames. I'm super excited. This is gonna be a striking battle. This is gonna be a high skilled striking battle, and Leon could make this a stinkfest, but I just don't think Carlos Prates is gonna allow him to do that. Carlos Prates is an exciting fighter, and he is gonna take the fight to Leon. So this is why I have it higher than the last fight, Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. Carlos Prates is going to bring the fucking fight to Leon Edwards, and I hope this brings out a side that we haven't seen in a while out of Leon. Maybe not even a while, just that we have never seen. If we're being honest with ourselves, this guy lives off headshot, you're dead. He lives off of that, and that's fine. That was a great moment. Probably one of the best moments in championship fight history. I mean, this guy was down four rounds in the fight, pulled it out of his ass, and knocked Kamaru Usman out, a top 15 fighter in my eyes of all time. Like I said, I wish I could have seen that fight live. That shit was probably crazy. I mean, being down 4 rounds and just knocking someone out with like a minute 30 left, that was crazy. But obviously, it's going to be a very different fight to those. This guy's living off of that, and then the decision win against Kamaru Usman, which was really impressive. But, yeah, I mean, I just don't... Leon just never takes the fight to someone, and so I'm super excited to see how Carlos Prates is going to use that to his advantage. Like I said, it's a 3-round fight, so if they're going to scrap, it's going to be in 3 rounds. This could be a bit of a stinker. But if it will, it's going to be Leon's fault. I know that 100%. Because we know how Carlos Prates likes to fight. And guys, this Madison Square Garden card is fucking stacked, man. It's stacked. I think, this is the second fight I bring up, I think. Which is crazy. Because we're already in the top 6. Or... I'm not going to say the last one we were on, which was the first fight, I believe. But yeah, it's going to be a great striking battle, high skilled. I'm looking forward to it at Madison Square Garden. Big implications also for the welterweight division. I didn't even bring that up at all. Big implications. I mean, this is another number one contender fight. I don't know what the fucking welterweight division is doing. I won't complain though. I mean, in my opinion, it's might be the best division heading into 2025, especially after the title fight that we'll get into a little bit later. We'll see what happens with the welterweight division. Also, we have Bilal against Ian Gary. So yeah, I mean, there's three number one. Those could be easily three number one contender fights. But they're also, all of them are also kind of not number one contender fights for different reasons. But yeah, this is number 6. Moving on, number 5, Merab the Machine Dvalishvili. I can't believe this guy's gonna fucking fight again this year, man. This guy is the definition of the machine. So the nickname is perfect. I mean, it fits him. He is the fucking machine. 4 title defenses in 1 calendar year would be insane. Insane. And he's fighting Peter Yan, who I think is going to give Merab a bit of problems. I think if it's not Umar, the other guy to beat him might have been Corey Sandhagen, but we obviously saw that it wasn't. Might be Peter Yan, but guys, if we're being honest with ourselves, the reason this is the last or the second to last title fight, the first title fight that we care about, the reason why this is the last one is because, I mean, plain and simple, I think Merab's just gonna go out there and dominate him again. Not to give away my early prediction, but we've seen this fight before. Like I said, I think the only person that will give problems to Merab is going to be Umar. And I just don't see this fight being super different from the first fight. We've seen it before. And I think if, at worst, it'll be Peter Yan will be able to hold up a couple more takedowns and still lose the fight. So, sorry, I hate to give away a December prediction, the December PPV prediction, but Merab's just, this guy might be higher. Is he higher than that Volk all time? I don't know, man. I really don't know. I'd have to ask Lucas Tracy. I'll hit him up, see what he thinks. I don't think he'll say yes, but I think at worst this guy's number 6. Is he? He's at worst he's the 6th best fighter of all time. I hate to say it. He's better than Khabib. He's better than DC. Better than Mighty Mouse. I think I had him over Merab. I hate to say it, guys, but Merab's up there now. Merab is up there. So main reason why I'm excited is to see Merab fight again, and if he could actually get this win, it'd be great. He would just continue building his legacy, which is crazy because it's already a great one. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Number 4, the last fight for the card this weekend: Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane. You could have a great argument that the fight number 5, Merab versus Peter Yan, could be above this just because Peter Yan is going to present a little bit more problems than maybe Ciryl Gane will with Tom Aspinall. But I'm really excited to see. This is a fight we haven't seen before, which is kind of rare in the top 10 now for Tom Aspinall, which just shows you everything you need to know. But this is a fresh matchup for Tom. It's a matchup like he hasn't seen before. Sergey Pavlovich is a little bit like Ciryl Gane in the striking. But, Ciryl Gane does have some great jiu-jitsu. He has his jiu-jitsu black belt. And I think he's going to be faster than anyone Tom Aspinall has ever seen. The main reason why this is also higher than Merab is because we fucking finally get to see Tom Aspinall again. I mean, this guy has shown he hasn't gone past like the fucking halfway point of the second round, man. Like, this guy is a modern day heavyweight that's fucking destroying everyone. Better than we have ever seen. Better than Stipe. Maybe the only one that maybe would be Ngannou. But this guy has shown that he's a lot more skilled than Ngannou. I don't think anyone can argue that. He's a lot more skilled on the ground, on the feet, in terms of maybe just pure technique. Ngannou was maybe a little bit more power, but he did develop a little bit more technique as he was going through his fights. But this guy's fucking finishing everyone in the first round, man. Like, even Ngannou wasn't doing that. Fucking powerful Ngannou wasn't doing that to these modern day heavyweights. And Tom Aspinall is. I mean, this guy is the definition of a champion. Ilya Topuria, him and Ilya Topuria are probably the most exciting fighters in the UFC right now. Like, every time these guys are on, you have to watch. And yes, I have this at number 4, and that might be a little bit hypocritical, but I just think the dance partner, maybe he may not be up to the standard. But we'll break that down. Like I said, we'll break that down in the prediction video coming up soon. I believe this might be tomorrow, or it might have already come out by the time I upload this video. But yes, main reason why this is number 4, I'm excited to see Tom Aspinall again in the ring, as he should be, the undisputed heavyweight champion. If this would have been John Jones, this would have been easily number 1. Although number 1 on this list, it would have given it a good battle. But in terms of name value, yeah, this one would have been number 1 if this was John Jones instead of Ciryl Gane. But we're gonna take what we can get. We all are gonna be all here in the West Coast are gonna be up early to watch this pay-per-view. So yeah, we'll see what happens this weekend. Tom Aspinall is back in the ring, baby. Let's go. Number 3. Hey guys, I'm not even trying to be a hardcore like that. But this fight might be for GOAT status of WMMA. And if there's 2 fighters that I really like to watch in WMMA, it's these 2. All 3 champions I will say in WMMA, I like all 3 champions. I think they're good. I think they're skilled. Valentina has kind of had some stinkers in her recent fights against Alexa Grasso, I will be honest, and against Manon Fiorito. But this fight's I think it's for GOAT status in WMA. I mean, who else can you argue? Both of these champs have been dominant in their divisions for a while. Valentina did lose it there a little bit, but Zhang Weili also lost a little bit there to Rose Namajunas, out of all people, who's now in this division as well. Like, look at this. It's 2 champs. 2 champions on 322. The best fucking fight card of this year. I don't even care, because we've had 4 fights in the top 7. So that card's just a fucking banger. And I'm excited to see it unravel. But yeah, Valentina versus Zhang Weili. I think this is going to be, if there's a WMMA fight that you want to watch, it's going to be this one. And it's going to be Kayla Harrison if Amanda Nunes comes back. Those are 2 interesting fights. Probably the only interesting fights in the only really interesting fights in WMMA. If there's a fight that's for GOAT status, I mean, it has to be up there. Number 3, Valentina Shevchenko against Zhang Weili. 2 all-around just beast of MMA fighters. And yeah, we'll see if lighter woman's skill holds up in WMMA as well. But moving on, number 2, Alexandre Pantoja versus Joshua Van. Guys, this fight, you see, the only reason why I'm a bit scared of this fight is that I could see a world, not to spoil it again, but I could see a world where Pantoja just goes in there, smothers Joshua Van, and submits him early on. I could very well see a world where that happens. And that would honestly be a huge bummer, because I want to see striking exchanges from these guys. I want to see this fucking scrap. But yeah, that's the reason why this is number 2. If this is a fucking scrap, I know this is going to be a fucking scrap, If it's a scrap, it's going to be a scrap, Guys, if Joshua Van can fucking go out there and beat Pantoja, I mean, what can we say about this guy? At 23, 24, whatever this guy's age is, in 1 year, basically, to go from unranked, having lost a fight by KO, I might be going a little bit more back. That might be a year and a half or 2. to all the way to the title fight. I mean, he knocked out Bruno Silva, stepped in a month or less than a month later against fucking Brandon Royval and beat him up. And now he's here. And he's presented himself with the opportunity to be the undisputed flyweight champion of the world. Like, this guy is crazy. This guy is the definition, should be a definition of your favorite fighter. But Pantoja is also the definition of someone that should be your favorite fighter. So, this is why this is number 2. I mean, no one was going to beat number 1. But this fight, I hope this is a scrap. I hope Pantoja just doesn't go out there and little brothers, little boys, Joshua Van. Because if he doesn't, we could see a fucking scrap. One of the best scraps we've seen probably since Pantoja against Urseg or Pantoja against Moreno. So yeah, I'm super excited. The last 2 Pantoja defenses have kind of been a little bit shit just because grappling hasn't been there. So we know Joshua Van has great takedown defense. So my perfect world where we do see the scrap could very well be a thing. But number 1, it wasn't going to be any other fight but this one. JDM against Islam Makhachev. I mean, fuck, guys. JD fucking M, guys. No, I'm trying to do the Aussie impression. I am not Bad Time MMA. I'm not going to do it. Guys, Islam Makhachev, I'm telling you right now, is fighting for GOAT status. If he wins this fight, becomes double champ, he is the GOAT of the sport. Plain and simple. For me, in my eyes, in my books, Islam Makhachev is the GOAT. What else can you take from him? He will have tied Anderson Silva for the win streak. He will have double champ status. Defended his belt multiple times at lightweight. Is probably the lightweight GOAT, as he has the most title defenses. Welterweight champion, going up 15, not just 10. He's going up 15 pounds to fight an up-and-coming fighter in JDM who beat Bilal Muhammad, which seemed to be an uncrackable puzzle. You know, he just had great takedown defense, and he boxed him out of the arena that night. But Islam Makhachev, he wins, there's nothing you can say against him. He will have the win streak. He'll have the double champ status. He'll have the GOAT status in the division already. And if he defends his title a couple times, he will be the undisputed GOAT. Because if he wins this, there still could be an argument for John Jones for GSP. I could see it. But if he goes out there and wins and defends 2 or 3 times, it's over, man. There's nothing to say. Islam Makhachev is the GOAT of the sport. So, but yeah, moving on to JDM part. Because if JDM wins, the world looks very different. We have to put some major respect on JDM, and he will be on the trajectory for GOAT status himself. So, at worst, we get someone that's on trajectory for GOAT status and one of the best divisions in the UFC's history. So, this fight is just going to be a banger. In terms of styles, I mean, like I said, I don't really want to get into what I think could happen, but even though I have this whole fucking video, you know, JDM proved he had great takedown defense against Bilal. Do I think Islam's wrestling is better than Bilal? His trips are better than Bilal? His judo is better than Bilal? Yes. Do I still think JDM could figure that out? You know, he's working in there with Craig Jones, who's working there with Volk, and Volk put up a great fight. And now this is basically Volk, but fucking bigger, 170 now. You know, that I think that in itself is just going to present promise to Islam Makhachev, but this guy was able to go out there and beat Dustin Poirier, one of the best strikers in the UFC's history, who has lighter man skill than JDM. He was able to go out there and beat the brakes out of Dustin Poirier. Yes, an older Dustin Poirier, but a Poirier that showed that he still had, you know, a little bit of grit to him. Obviously a vet, so he knows what to do in those situations. He went out there and he beat Dustin Poirier in a tit-for-tat battle, plain and simple. That's fucking impressive, especially for someone that's supposed to be a wrestler just because he's from Dagestan. We've seen how much Islam Makhachev's striking has improved, and I'm sure it has taken a step up in this fight because he knows if he can't deal with the wrestling, he'll have to strike with one of the best most skilled, silky boxers that we have in the UFC right now in JDM. So this fight is just fucking fireworks, baby. This fight is going to be fucking fireworks. GOAT status or trajectory GOAT status. UFC 322 Madison Square Garden. What a fucking card, baby. Like, holy shit. That card, I'm so excited for that card. But yeah, this is my number one. This is my most anticipated fight. Both of these would be, obviously if either one wins, they'd be the champ of the division. And there's so many fresh matchups we're going to get after all these number one contender fights. So yeah, that's going to be my breakdown for UFC 320, or not 322, for the top 15 fights that we do have for main card for our pay-per-views for the rest of the year. I know that's a bit of a tongue twister, but you guys know you guys know what I mean. The 15 fights that are left for main cards in the pay-per-views we have left. A lot of bangers. The worst fight that I have here is a champ fight. So that should say everything you need to know. Super pumped. This is going to be great. Look forward to this. Look forward to creating more videos for y'all. Make sure to like and subscribe, man. Halo MMA. I'm going to do great things. So I hope you guys can come out here and enjoy fun videos like these. But yeah, like I said, like and subscribe if you can. Comment what you think. Comment your rankings. And I'll see you next time. Peace.